Hello, fellow badasses. Welcome back to week 2. Last week we discussed the fabulous mantra of care deeply and don't give a fuck, and how to hold space for both of those and create balance and feel more like a badass. And so this week I want to talk about one of the biggest blockers to finding that balance, which is shame. And I want to talk about the difference between shame and guilt. And shame is the fundamental belief that I am bad or I am broken. And guilt is I have made a bad choice or I've made a mistake. And so to illustrate the difference, let's say I have committed to dog sitting for you while you're on vacation. And while I'm dog sitting, I decide to watch Oprah reruns. And I just lay around the house and I don't really watch the dog, and the dog gets out and gets really hurt. I should feel a healthy degree of guilt about that. And so what that might look like when I'm talking about guilt is, oh my gosh, I'm really sorry. I've made a terrible mistake. I want to try to make it right. I want to be culpable for the vet bills. I want to help take care of the dog afterwards if he needs any surgery. I completely understand if you never trust me again. If you do trust me again ever, I am committing to turning off the TV and making sure I'm really checking in and making sure that the dog is safe. And I totally understand if that doesn't happen, and I'm really sorry. So there's 5 steps, if you have made a bad choice, which we all do, that you want to try to go through. And they're hard. It takes courage. And so you want to talk about owning it and apologizing for it. Yep, I messed up. And 2, you want to try to make it right. You want to try to balance out the scales. If you can't undo the mistake, you want to try to see if there's anything that you can do to try to make it right and make it just. Number 3, you want to really try to commit to doing something different in the future. 4, radically accept the consequences of your actions. And 5, and this is the hardest one for many of us, including me, let it go. You have to let it go because you can't move on if you don't. And if you don't move on, it's probably going to turn into shame. And shame looks like this. Oh, I always do that. I never can handle responsibility. And then I can externalize my shame and I can say, you know I can't handle responsibility. Why did you put me in this position? So shame, notice that shame is all about me, and I'm paralyzed in it. I'm always going to be this way. It's this global definition for who I am as a person. And there's really no hope for doing anything different in the future. It's just the way I am. I'm bad and nothing I can do about it. So it kind of negates responsibility in a way. Guilt is about maintaining that relationship, and it's about the caring deeply part. How can I maintain connection and own what I've done and care deeply about the person that I've hurt? So if you are feeling shame about something that you need to feel maybe some healthy guilt about, take a breath, go through those 5 steps and see if you can make it right. If you're feeling shame about something you don't really need to feel shame about, if you haven't hurt anybody, or if you're doing your best, which we all are usually, then we need to sprinkle a little bit of not give a fuck energy on that and try to let it go. And the more that we shed light on it, talk about it, the less shame can survive. So if you are feeling a healthy degree of guilt, we want to care deeply, maintain our relationships. If it's shame and it's toxic, you want to really embrace the not give a fuck energy and try to lean into it, let it go, get rid of that stuff because it's going to be really toxic for you. There you go. So then you get to feel more like a badass as you know the difference between those two, looking at them with courage and bravery. And I will see you back here for week 3, where I'm going to talk more about self-compassion and how that's really an agent for change, and dive a little bit more deeply into the care deeply part, and then we'll move on to what needs to fall into the not give a fuck part. All right, have a great week, and thanks so much for coming back for week 2. Bye, take care.